go live and
waiting
and wait for the masses of people to show up. But no, what we were just talking. We're live, folks. If you're with us, but we're just going to wait a couple minutes, like we've been doing the last few weeks, just to get people into the show and into the chat. The usual regulars. Actually, I have half of the usual regulars right here, so maybe maybe we won't. But you're saying something, Dan, about Elon's tweet a couple hours ago?
Yeah, he just GameStop posted the meme with the guy doing the sideways eyes.
Yeah.
About Robin Hood. What was it? Robin Hood in 2016 posted "Let the people trade," and then Elon retweeted with the side eyes.
Yeah, because that tweet didn't age too well.
No.
Come today. Yeah, I'm no stock person here. Definitely not. But I've been following it all day. I don't know about you guys. I've been following it all day, and it's I'm rooting for the little guy, the underdog, because the nonsense that's going on with these big corporations and these big rich people is atrocious. And yeah, I mean, for once, I shouldn't say for once. This time, I'm rooting for the little guy. Yeah,
a couple of people also posted that Robinhood actually sold their GameStop stock on them without any confirmation or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I saw a little bit of that.
Yeah.
That's got to be against some kind of regulations. Like that's huge. Yeah. But I mean, we're chatting about it just casually here and there. It's not obviously Tesla related, but it somewhat is, because Elon, Elon's take on shorts, and he's he can, Elon on Twitter, he can't help himself, right? So he's weighed into the argument a little bit and the festivities from today, and put out a couple tweets. Sorry. Didn't he say last night that if GameStop reached a certain amount, that he was going to paint the logo on his next rocket and fly it into space?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, he said if it reached it, I think it was $1,000.
$1,000, yeah.
Painted on his next rocket, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Oh.
Yeah, I was caught up with the GameStop, and then the SN9 launch today. That never happened.
Oh, that was supposed to be today. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It didn't launch because Robinhood shut down all the all the buying. Yeah, maybe that's why. What are we at? We're at 2 now. We'll give it another minute and then we'll start up. I mean, maybe there's really no news in Tesla today, so maybe, or even yesterday. So maybe we should just keep talking about the Wall Street bets.
Yeah.
And Reddit. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing else to talk about.
No, nothing. You guys hear anything that happened in the last 24 hours or so?
Eerily quiet. No.
Yeah. I don't know. No. I'm kidding. So yeah, well, we have a lot to talk about. I say that, and I actually even forgot what my background was. So yeah, I'm sort of screwing myself by actually even thinking that. But you know what? Let's start. It is 9:36. I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. I know you've come in and helped me out and stuff like that. So I'm sure you guys have stuff to do. It's 9:30. Nope. I know Dan's gonna say no. Yeah, 9:30 here, but Darren over there on the West Coast has the whole evening ahead of him. So yeah. Okay, let's start. Welcome to the Tesla Talks podcast, folks. It is the end of January, and with it, the end of January comes the earnings, and the earnings of last year and the last quarter. We're going to get to that, but before we get to that, I want to introduce my guests. Obviously, we have Dan, aka Northern Tesla. Hi, Dan. Thanks for coming on.
Hey there. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Dan is replacing Franklin this week.
I'll do my best.
Yep. No.
FSD Beta Canada.
You've already done it.
Good start.
Yeah, and you've what's the word I'm thinking of? You satisfied your commitment. That's all you need to do. It's the only reason I have him on. And down below we have Darren from Drive Tesla Canada, the wizard of the Canadian Tesla news. Hey, Darren, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, and same thing. You're replacing Franklin too. not that it takes two people to replace Franklin, but you're replacing him. And he's down in the comments saying something about me right about now as we speak, probably. No, you know what? You guys have been on before, so no huge formal introductions. Just want to say thank you. Oh, Franklin, stop it. He's already in there with the super chat. Do you have a question? I can't even read. I've got so many lights in my eyes here. No, he just wanted to. Please, folks that are in the chat, don't be like Franklin. Do not give me any money. You're being here and participating, and even if you don't participate, is just thanks enough. Do not have to make it monetary. No, what I was saying is you guys have been on the show before, so no huge background and stuff like that. I appreciate you guys being here, and we should start the show because, what I will tell you, what I did last week, and it worked out pretty good, and what I will probably do this week and every week going on. I don't know if people noticed it last week that watched. For anyone that's watching live or anyone that's listening on the podcast, unfortunately, I haven't figured out a way for it to affect you, so it doesn't affect you. But if you're watching the YouTube feed or video of this after the fact, after it's finished live, like tomorrow or for the rest of the week, I've broken down the topics into chapters. So if you want a particular topic that you're interested in hearing, just go in the description below. And you know how YouTube has everything in chapters now and segments. And if you just click on the timestamp or that particular whatever chapter it is, it will fast forward or rewind straight to that part of the video. So because these podcasts are sometimes over an hour long, I found that putting chapters in makes it a little easier for you guys to navigate if you want to see or hear something that you're interested in, and maybe weed out the other stuff that you're not interested in. Probably not something I should be saying. I should be telling you guys to watch the whole thing from beginning to end, but I respect your guys' time and I respect your guys' energy and effort just to come on or click on the button and stuff like that. So I'm not trying to monetize this in any way, shape, or form, or monetize your time. So that's why I'm trying to make it as efficient for you guys. So going forward, just remember, if you want to know what the topics are that we've covered on a show, go down in the description right away of the video, open it up, and look at the topics. And if you see a topic you want to hear right away, click on it, and it'll go right to it. And you can skip all this kind of mumbo jumbo that I'm going through right now. So let's get right onto the show, guys. Let's talk about the Tesla Model Y. No? Okay. How about the 3? No?
No.
Okay. No, first of all, okay, like Darren and I were saying, the earnings call came and went yesterday, and they had all the financials and stuff like that. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, other than what we learned probably 3-4 weeks ago, about 3-4 weeks ago, nothing surprised us, nothing was earth-shattering or anything like that we need to even touch on, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
No, not in terms of numbers.
Okay. I mean, there was some, with the call, there was questions that people asked and stuff like that. And we can get to that as we talk throughout the show. If you guys want to bring anything up, just let me know. Or anyone in the chat want to bring anything up, let me know. But Franklin, I got to concentrate on you guys and ignore the chat because Franklin's going to make me go off on a tangent.
I'll keep an eye on the chat for you. We lost you, Dax.
Did you mute yourself?
Did Franklin hack in and mute you? No, still can't hear you.
No, can't hear you, bud.
Something get unplugged.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't think anything got unplugged, so I don't know. I just got a pop-up on my screen saying that my mic was off, and then I looked down and I saw it was muted, and then I had to go back in and choose my...
Oh, you're muted again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're going to try to just go off the default mic and hope that doesn't come on again. I don't know what's going on. You guys can hear me now this time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize for that. I probably won't be needing this any longer. Yeah, I don't know what that was and why it did that. But let me know, because I'm not going to always be looking at the screen. So let me know. Jump right in if you see my lips moving and you don't hear me. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is with that mic. I rebooted my computer and the whole system before I started, like I always do. So, yeah, talking about the what were we talking about? I've lost my train of thought. We're talking about the
earnings call.
Yeah. So unless you guys think of something that with earth-shattering or notable, even in the questions and stuff like that. I mean, I know they touched on the Cybertruck a little bit. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's, instead of burying the lead, let's go right to the big potatoes, the whole thing that everyone for the last 24 hours has been talking about on social media, on the internet, or in every chat group and stuff like that, is the Model S. The Model S, and you know what? I almost forgot the Model X. And would you guys call it a refresh, or are we looking at a whole new thing now?
The body's still the same, so I think it's just a refresh for the interior, I say.
The exterior?
Yeah, like just the minor adjustments for the exterior. I guess the bumper and whatnot, and the fascia is a bit different, but yeah, I'd say
to be honest, I was expecting more on the outside, especially for the Plaid. Maybe the Plaid Plus, when it comes out in a year's time, it'll look a little different. But yeah, I was kind of expecting more on the outside. Yeah.
Now, I agree with you. Originally, I thought there was going to be more, but then as I kept as weeks were leading up, probably in the last week and a half, I'd say, kept seeing little things going around. Remember, we saw the kilowatt guy had some pictures and stuff like that. So I saw that. It looked very similar to the original. And then we even saw one, who was it that had one just last week or earlier this week, of a drone shot of it being tested on the track. And it looked very much the same. Even though it was a top-down view, it looked very much the same. So, you know, I said to myself, you know what, hopefully it's just majority of it is interior, and because from the outside of those shots that were leaked out or taken, unless you're an S owner, it was very hard to see the differences. Now that we have it here in the design studio and on the website, yeah, you can see, just like Dan said, there's some small subtle changes around the exterior, especially on the front bumper. You guys agree with me? Does it not look a lot more Model 3-ish and Model Y-ish, that front bumper?
Yeah,
it looks like a Model 3, except with the no, like the little tip with the logo.
Yeah.
That keeps with the S and the X.
Yep.
The fog lights look very similar to the 3 and the Y now.
Exactly. Yeah. And I guess that bottom venting area, a little bit bigger and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it looks good. I like it. I think it's a good refresh, and it brings the whole line of cars in line, for lack of a better word. And of course, I guess we can now stop calling it a chrome delete and just call it black matte. Yeah. Around the trim and all the other parts that used to be chrome. That once again brings the whole line in line with one another. And new wheels and stuff like that as we go through that. But I mean, the outside, I mean, it looks good. The outside looks good. But obviously, the big thing is the interior. And first off the bat, let's just talk about the obvious. What are your opinions on the steering wheel? Darren, start with you.
It's definitely different. I've never driven with that kind of steering wheel, so I'd have to try it out.
Wait a minute, you've never driven an F1 car?
No, never. So I'd have to try one firsthand to give an opinion on. Like, you're just so used to it. I mean, it's all we've ever known is to have a full steering wheel. So it would be very different to only have half a steering wheel.
Yep.
And then, of course, there's the legalities around whether that's actually even legal in Canada, which I don't think it is. So,
well, yeah, that came up. People were talking about that, and I'm not sure if it is. Let me just come out of here and bring up one of your pictures here that one of your tweets that you had put out. Speaking of the steering wheel, yeah, I don't know. I don't think Tesla. I could be wrong. I mean, the first thing people are going to say is obviously the mirrors, the side mirrors, how Tesla takes that off a lot of their cars when they first reveal it, and then ends up putting them on as production mirrors. Cybertruck is a perfect example of that. We know there's so. I know the argument is there that just because it's there, that doesn't mean that it'll stay like that, or just because it's not there, that doesn't mean it's not going to stay like that. So I get that argument, but I have a feeling the steering wheel may stick. Now, I'm thinking Tesla's lawyers and trademarks and all that kind of stuff, or just lawyers in general, have probably done their homework, and maybe it may not be legal now. And I don't know about the legalities. If you guys know, chime in, let me know. But I think it may stick. I mean, look, the way I look at it is looking at Darren's tweet here in this picture. There's a lot of stuff that they've incorporated into that wheel. Now I get it. They can still put this stuff in the wheel if they just close off the top, right? But I would hate for them to have to go back to the drawing board and then put in a stock, put in a gear selector and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. Dan, what's your opinion on the steering wheel?
Well, didn't they have that on the Cybertruck?
A very similar design, yeah. Another Yoke style.
Yeah, Yoke, and then they said that it wasn't going to be legal, so they took it out, or it was going to come with the regular wheel.
But see, yeah, and with a truck, my argument would be they need an actual wheel for a truck for when you're backing up and stuff. That a Yoke probably wouldn't be ergonomically correct for a truck. A car, on the other hand, I don't know. I mean, I think they can get away with it.
That's the thing, though, is that we've never, like Darren said, we've never driven with a Yoke. I think a pilot said today that, like, as a plane, it works because you don't have to turn much, but in a car, you have to turn. So, but we've never tried it. We've never driven with one, so maybe we just get used to it or see how it is. Or, but wasn't it someone also? I think it was Darren. Didn't you say that in the source code of the site there was a regular wheel included?
Yeah, that's right. There's an optional. Well, there's the two options. There's the Yoke, and then there's the regular steering wheel as well.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but that's really strange because Elon said they're going to be shipping these in a couple of weeks. So for them to not have what people are going to be receiving in a couple of weeks seems really strange. So
yeah, unless this may be something reserved strictly for the Plaid Plus, maybe. Knowing that it's further down the line, like in the fall, and maybe they'll need more time to iron out the regulations and the legalities and stuff like that. And yeah, come next month and March and stuff like that, as they start shipping them out, they'll ship them out with the regular steering wheel. I don't know. You know, Tesla, you know how they can be sometimes, right?
Maybe we should order one and see what comes.
I'll let you do that, Dan.
Yeah.
Who, I should? No, you let me know, Dan. You order one because you're closer to me than Darren, and I'll come take a look at it. Mark in the chat says, you know, if it's extra sensitive, you know, you may not need to turn it that much, and that's what I was thinking. Just you just shorten the wheel travel and turning radius, and it could. And now that may be dangerous. Like, no, I mean, no, most cars today have a speed adjusted sensitivity for their steering anyways. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess they could do that very easily. Could they not? I mean, I'm not an engineer, so I'm throwing it out to you guys that are much smarter than me and all the engineers.
Well, if you think of when you're driving, if you're going hand over hand, if you eliminate that one full turn of the wheel, then you're not having to go through that missing part of the wheel, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But that's you know, that's interesting to see. I like it. I think it's cool. But I've just today alone, just before this actually, I was watching. I don't know if you guys watch. It's a Canadian guys called Throttle House on YouTube. Channel called Throttle House. Two Canadian guys. One's British, but I think he's still Canadian. If you haven't watched Throttle House, they're awesome guys. They do some cool car reviews and stuff like that, but just they're so witty and charismatic, and they have a good chemistry between the two of them. Anyways, they put out an episode just tonight before I went on, before we came on here, and they were talking about the Model S. And what dominated their, I think it was like a 12-minute video, what dominated their discussion was the steering wheel. And same thing, legalities and how it looks and how, if it's practical and stuff like that. And then you look in the comments. I was saying to a friend after I watched it, you look in the comments down below, and they're all gearheads, obviously, to watch the show because it's a show about cars. And it's not just EVs. They do all types of cars, but they do EVs too. And it just goes to show you, if you check out that episode, look through the comments, a lot of people are they just don't get EVs or Tesla. I mean, there's the Tesla haters in there, and you're going to get that in any comments for any kind of car video. But just the EVs alone, they don't get it. One guy commented and said something about it has no soul. It's like, really? Are we still using that no soul argument? I mean, that came out years ago when EVs first started coming out. And last time I checked, cars don't have souls. So I don't know why that's an argument. Anyways, I think I've beaten the steering wheel thing to a dead horse. So let's.
There's the other part about the steering wheel in that it doesn't have the gear selector stalk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Based on what Elon said, it uses the cameras and map data and context of where it is to know whether it should be in park, reverse, or drive. What do you guys think on that?
I would hope that there's an option to do it yourself, but like I think the example was given is that if you're in your garage, obviously it's gonna either go forward or reverse depending where you are. But if you're still in the middle of the street, you should be able to go to reverse, I hope.
Yeah. There's an on-screen. Is that what you're gonna say, Darren? There's an on-screen option?
There is, yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and you know what? I just hope they get it right. And I know why Elon's saying that and why Tesla's going this direction. Just the steering wheel design itself, I know why they're going, because they're looking forward, right? They're looking forward to FSD and the future of the car driving itself and the steering wheel turning and everything. For some, see, and this is where I think Tesla seems to drop the ball, because they're assuming a world full of Tesla owners where all they're going to do is FSD. But I know a lot of Tesla owners that love to drive, that don't want anything to do with FSD and don't want the car driving for themselves. Some of those people don't trust it, and some of those people say, yeah, I trust it, that's fine, but I bought the car because I want to drive. It's a good driving car. So I think Tesla is sort of disconnected when it comes to that, and they think, or they assume, or maybe it's just Elon, that everyone's going to want this car to drive for them. And I think that's the reason one of the reasons the whole wheel is designed the way it is, and the absence of the stalks and the gear selectors and stuff like that. I think they're going in that direction, but I think they're forgetting some people may not want that. They're bringing people in this direction, kicking and screaming to some extent.
One good thing about this Yoke is that it makes the screen visible a lot more.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And you got to wonder if that's one of the main reasons they did it. I don't know. I mean, we could sit here and hypothesize all night, but yeah, I'm not sure why, other than the obvious.
Or maybe it's Knight Rider.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark once again says manual driving will be a thing of the past. Yeah, for some, but I couldn't even guess what the percentage is for how many people will actually want to drive. And I know Elon's come out and said that before, where he said you won't want to drive. The car's going to be doing it. You know what? Going on long trips, definitely, you won't want to drive. But if you're just running to the store down the street or something like that, like, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Me personally, I love FSD and I can't wait for the car to drive for me and stuff like that. But if I'm just running to the store, I think it'd be a bigger hassle than if I just drive myself and I get there and get out, in and out, get back home for whatever I need to get. So I think Elon doesn't see that fully, or maybe just trying to sell us on all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I mean, a lot of people, I know it already, a lot of people are going to complain that, oh, I've got on $150,000 car, I've got to take my my concentration off the road and look on the screen and press a button to put it into drive because the car didn't intelligently realize I wanted to go and drive or reverse. I mean, if you're in park to get it into drive, as long as it knows which way to go, which is half the argument there, I get it, like Dan was saying, shouldn't be a problem. When you stop and you put your foot on the brake and you open the door, I mean, our cars already do that. It puts it into park automatically, right? So that's the easy thing. It's like you guys were saying earlier. It's whether you're in a certain situation, whether you're in a lot or something, or you're in the middle of the road or something, and for emergency reasons or whatever, you need to put it into drive or put it into reverse. You want to be able to do that quickly with just, just regular gross motor skills and automatically. You don't want to have to be like looking for a button on a screen.
It would be nice if they had one of those buttons on the wheel itself that you could just, it's either park, I mean, not park, but drive or reverse, because we don't have to park it, like you said, we don't have to park it. So it's just a matter of having drive or reverse on the yoke. Yeah,
and yeah, you can forgo neutral too, right? So maybe it'll be those touch things. Maybe it'll be gesture based, where it's just like you swipe up, you're in reverse. You swipe down, you're in drive, or the other way around. I mean, who knows? We're all speculating now, but for the last 20 minutes, we've been talking about the steering wheel, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, because it's been the topic of many all day today. So going on, looking at the rest of the interior, I love it. I think it's amazing. What do you guys think of the layout? Color scheme aside, I mean, the picture I'm showing for any viewers that are watching at home, there we have the wood again.
With the white, though.
Wood. Sorry?
With the white, though. Like in the Model 3, you got wood, no white.
True, yeah. So with the white, I mean, it looks classy. It looks fine. I just don't know. I mean, I guess there is an option. Am I correct, Darren? There is an option that you can get carbon fiber and forgo the white?
I believe on the Plaid Plus, it switches to carbon fiber.
Okay, in the Plaid Plus. Okay, and then we see they went very similar, like how they have on the S and and on the Y and the 3, where they've got the center console area there for Qi charging your smartphones. So that's good. That looks like it's very nicely incorporated. Anyone notice the emergency or the hazard or the 4-way flash button is now down there, as opposed to on the roof like the Y and the 3. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. So this whole car apparently, and we're going to get to the backseat in some of the other slides, but this whole car has wireless charging and Qi charging throughout. So for almost all the passengers. I guess if you had a fifth passenger and they were in the middle seat, then no one's going to have charging in the back, at least wireless. But looking up to the screen, a 17-inch, pretty beautiful looking. I mean, I know we're looking at it in a picture. It's probably rendered, but position-wise and situationally wise, we knew that it was going to be horizontal. I mean, if they'd went portrait, it would have been crazy for them to do it. So we knew this was coming, but how it incorporates into the dash is very nice. And I know some of the other people were saying last night, they're glad they didn't do it like how the 3 and the Y is, how it sticks out almost like a pedestal. Some people were saying how that looks almost, to this day, even though we're accustomed to it, it almost looks like it was a last-minute decision by Tesla, like it was forgotten, and then they had to last-minute make a quick change. This one looks like it was intentional, and it blends into the dash very nicely. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's that's what separates the S and the X, is that it was always like the S and the X already was built into the display, and so they kept that, which is good because it separates it from the 3 and the Y.
You there, Dan?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. I don't know. It might have been mine. I'm having so much trouble tonight with that whole mic thing. So maybe it was mine. Did he cut out on your end, Darren?
Nope, he was good all the way through.
Okay, so it's me. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I really like the design. I think Franklin mentioned it earlier in the chat that it's now a very simplistic design. The previous design was I would say busy compared to the 3 and the Y. and now it's just that very simple, minimalistic look on the dash, which I think looks really good.
It definitely is, yeah. And you know, they were, you know, bringing everything together. I know I've used this word a few times tonight, but they're bringing everything in line, all their other cars in line with one another, because they've got the Airwave system too, which once again, that's like the screen. We all knew that was coming. If it wasn't, we would have wondered why. But getting back to the screen for a second, it says in one of the, let me see if I can find it. It says it tilts. These slides keep going so fast. Okay, it's a 2200 by 1300 resolution, ultra bright true color, and it says, see, it keeps going on me. It says it tilts left and right, and people are wondering how does it tilt left and right? But I guess if behind there is hollow enough, or it's got enough room behind, it could just pivot left and right. Not a huge amount. It doesn't have to come out on an articulating arm or anything like that. But I could see, you know, a few degrees going left or right within the dash there. That's pretty cool. I wish. I mean, I know there's aftermarket and third-party guys that make it for the 3-in-1, the little hinge that I think Techform sells down in the States. So you can make your swivel and stuff like that. But for a very built-in kind of stock look, I think that looks nice.
Yeah, and if you've seen those aftermarket ones, it doesn't need to turn a huge amount for it to make a big difference in the viewing angle.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's plenty of space there for a useful left-right tilt.
Yeah, and then the it doesn't have a HUD, heads-up display, which, I mean, that wasn't well wanted. Not wanted, but it wasn't well desired. A few people I remember hearing in the last few weeks were hoping that it would have it or wishing it would have it. But we've got a regular binnacle, just like the old S and the X, and everything I'm showing you here in the S is the same in the X, just more room for the front seats at least. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's what makes them premium and a step above from the 3-in-1. So they have a binnacle, and I think someone told me it was, or I thought I heard someone said it was 12 inches for that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Darren.
Yeah, I think it was 12.
Dan, yeah. And like Dan says, that's a lot of information is going to be put onto that. So maybe that's why the steering wheel is cut like that, so you can see it. I mean, cars do it now that have regular round steering wheels design, and somehow, some way, driver is able to see through the top part of the hole, I guess. But going down here, moving on.
The one thing I have to say though is the one thing I don't like about the 3 refresh is with the center console, and I love how they did it here with that silver line that goes all the way up to the screen.
Yes.
It just closes the aesthetics.
Yeah, it does. I agree with you. I would, if you're looking at home and you're looking at the pictures I'm showing you on a screen cap, I would slow down and talk more about these, but it's moving so fast I can't. And so we'll just go down here. In the back, this was something no one could have guessed. The back seat 8-inch screen, like, that's beautiful. Now, some people were online last night were hoping and wishing that is somehow detachable, but I highly doubt it. Because if you look really closely here, you tell me what I think, whether it'll be detachable. But if you look closely here where my cursor is, at the top of that looks like where the vents are coming out for your HVAC. Because it doesn't look like it has any vents below other than the 2 USB-C holes, the connections. So I would find that hard to believe that would actually detach. But now, do we know? Okay, let me see what it says here. Oh, by the way, everyone was raving that it's 10 teraflops of processing power, which apparently equals a PS5 in the car. That's pretty incredible. So it talks about games and everything, and wireless controller capabilities and stuff like that from every seat. I'm wondering, does it do more than gaming? Darren or Dan, did you hear anything today the weather.
I haven't heard anything, but maybe it like works the climate for the back seat, maybe.
Yeah, that would be good if the passengers in the back could have their own control.
It does do that, yeah.
It does?
It mentions that somewhere, yeah.
It does? Okay, perfect. Because, that you'd think that would just be a miss that they would not put that in. And I would assume, too, that you probably could play YouTube and Netflix and the whole Tesla Theater back there, too.
Yeah, it would be nice if you could stream to that middle screen on the mobile device.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know Elon is so big into gaming. I get it. But I hope he didn't just make this beautiful thing here in the back, which is very useful and very people could take a lot of advantage of it, that he didn't make it strictly for gaming. That would be disappointing. But hopefully you can do that. And you know what? Hey, it's a car company that does everything, almost everything, through over-the-air software updates. So even if it doesn't, and people say, because Tesla listens, one of the few car manufacturers that actually listen to their customers. And if someone tweets out Elon, say for example, on first release, it doesn't do theater mode. Someone tweets out to Elon, say, hey, it'd be really nice if we could watch YouTube or Netflix in the backseat for our passengers. Elon can easily make that happen, right? We know that. We've seen it. Yeah. What else does it say here? Fast USB charging. It says, right here, it says USB is even fast enough to power your laptop. Now, is that normally, I'm not a tech guy like you guys maybe, is that normally in any USB-C that it has enough juice, or it depends on the car, or depends on the...
Depends on the brick. So like the little brick that you plug into the wall, depends how many watts that is.
Yeah, okay. So obviously that's got enough juice from the USB plug or controller or whatever, that it's enough to do a laptop, because obviously a laptop would take more than a phone. Yeah.
So I think my laptop is a 50 watt or 40, somewhere around there.
Jesus,
while your phone's like a 12.
12 or 15, yeah. I know some are 50. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Moving right along, 22 speakers, 960 watts audio system. And the cool thing about that, other than 22, and I made the joke on Twitter last night saying, I'm really disappointed. I was hoping they'd have 23. Obviously, like the Model Y and 3 have 14, I believe. Is it 14 or 18?
14, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards 14, which is laughable anyways, because I think that's plenty. But now this is going to obviously trump it and have 22. And the interesting thing, and the thing that I didn't even know they could do in a car, but ignorant me when it comes to technology, I know you guys are probably laughing at me, is that it has noise canceling features. So does that mean, tell me, guys, this is what I think when I hear noise canceling features in a car's audio system. Does that mean now you can cancel any of the noise outside of the car and just submerge yourself or immerse yourself in the audio that's coming out of that car?
I guess
that would be my take on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's what my take on it is too. Does that not sound dangerous in some way? Because as a responsible driver, I'm thinking, you still, as much as you can listen to great audio and jam with the tunes or whatever you want to listen to, you still need to be able to hear your surroundings around you, whether your windows are up or down. Obviously, when your windows are up is probably when it's going to make more sense. Maybe that's just a road safety part of my brain thinking that, you need to have, you need to know your surroundings around you visually, obviously, but also audibly too.
I think it might just cancel like the road noise, because EVs are like, you get a little more road noise than regular cars, so maybe just cancel that.
Yeah, okay, then that would be perfect. Getting back to that, I'm just looking at the chat as I'm talking. This is usually what I have Franklin for. The only thing he's good for sometimes is one of the guys in the chat says, the Canadian drone pilot says, chances are the display, let me pull it up on the screen here, chances are the display pulls out slightly so you can tilt it at the proximate angle. Now, I know we're talking about the front, but I'm curious if he's talking about the rear 8-inch screen. That would be interesting. But you'd also think that if that was the case, they would also mention it too.
The one thing about that rear screen is that, like, I have a 4-year-old and his feet are there all the time.
Oh, true.
I'm wondering why they didn't put it in the back of the headrest like most other cars.
Yeah, because then they'd have to put 2.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, no, that's a very good point, Dan. I never even thought of that. Yeah, because my son, he tends to do the same thing too. And one of the first things I did, probably when I shouldn't say one of the first things, but within the first 6 months of when I got my car for the back seat, and I got to credit my buddy Ryan, Nerds for Hire. He's been on the show a few times. Ryan got me onto this. You know how it has USB-A on our older cars for our Model 3s, how they stick out of the back? And it's going to be the same for these USB-Cs, and you can probably find the same animal somewhere online. He showed me, and he got me a set of 90-degree angle USB-As, so it goes from male to female. So they plug in and they're flush, and when you need to plug the actual cord into it, it plugs into the left and the right, and they don't actually stick out, because sooner or later, anyone's kids, especially my kids, my son would have snapped that off if a cord was plugged in there, would have snapped it off a long time ago. So I think it's a lifesaver that they have these little 90-degree angle things that they sound. They're cheap. I think they're like $5 or $10 somewhere. I forgot where Ryan got it from, but I've showed that in a handful of previous videos last year or the year before, and I've had a lot of people ask me within the comments of that particular video where I got those, and I think I have the link in one of them. I think I got the link somewhere. But yeah, so just as much as that problem is for just the USB plugs, I could see, like Dan saying, that could be a problem for the screen. Anyone willing to take a guess how much that screen is to replace?
4 figures at least.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 4 figures. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It looks like embedded in the console, so it might be even more.
Yeah, no, I think that's just I think Darren's saying this for the part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's inside. Let's talk about the specs a little bit. I mean, there are 3 of them now. There's the, let's pull this up. Let's go to the design studio. Come on, work with me here. By the way, when I thought about 10, 15 minutes ago that Dan was cutting out, and it wasn't, it was my connection. It's been fine now, knock on wood. But if it goes and you guys can still run the show by yourselves, feel free to run the show by yourself, and I'll just come back in whenever I can, if that's possible. So the Model S, let's look at the design studio here. The long range, it comes in 3 models or 3 trims. The long range, the Plaid, and the Plaid Plus. Was the Plus surprising to you guys as it was for me?
Yeah, because I didn't talk about that at all.
Yeah. I thought it came out of left field for me too, which is a nice surprise in my opinion. I mean, it was nice to know that you had Plaid and then you had something beyond Plaid. So anyways, these are US prices. So the long range comes in at this stupid potential savings thing. Let me turn it off. I hate when Tesla does that. So it's gone up 10 grand. Remember how it was 69, 999? Yeah. Now, sorry, it was 69, 420. Now it's let's just call it 80 grand, folks. So it's $10 shy of 80 grand. It's 80 grand US. And if I'm looking correctly on my Canadian page that you can't see, the Canadian equivalent is 115,000 freaking dollars in Canada. And you know what? With that, I mean, look at what you get. You get 412 miles, or what is that in kilometers? 663 kilometers. That's pretty damn impressive. And like I said, that is just the long range. Now, of course, when you go top speed of 155, 0 to 60 in a slow 3.1 seconds. Really? 3.1 seconds?
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable, like trash. By the way, in Canadian, the zero is not 3.1 because it's 0 to 100. So on the Canadian page, it's at 3.2. I'm not making fun of anyone. Yeah, no, even worse. I'm not making fun of anyone, but in the Facebook group I run for the Model 3 and the Model Y, in the Model, I want to say Model 3 group, somebody, one of my members posted something saying, hey, in Canada, we're getting gypped. It's not 3.1 like it is. No, sorry. It was for the Plaid. It wasn't 1.99. It was 2.1 seconds. So it was slower in Canada than it was here in the US. Let me just tell you, I almost wanted to delete the post just to save the guy, but the cruel part of Dax said, "Nah, you know what? Let me leave it." So I left it. Oh. Some of the comments, I felt bad for him after a while. After I put in my 2 cents, I said, "Well, you know what? We made it up in mileage," and I just left it after that. But I felt bad for the guy. Obviously,
it does catch a few people.
I get it. Yeah,
0 to 100.
Yeah, I get it. And to think that it's going so fast that 0.2 seconds, but it makes a difference. Anyway, move right along to the Plaid. Let's look at the Plaid. That bumps it up from, sorry, I'm in the Canadian version here. Move it up to the Plaid. It's $120,000, but it's a tri-motor and has a few differences. It gets a little less range, obviously, because it's faster, and has an extra motor, but it only gets 390 miles of range, but it has a top speed of 200 miles, which no one will ever use, and it drops down the 0-60 by over a second to 1.99.
Wow!
Has anyone done?
That's just insane.
Yeah, I was gonna say, has anyone I can't even fathom that speed. Hey, listen, my car does it. What's our car do? Like 5 seconds thereabout.
Yeah, the SR is 5.4.
Yeah, and I think the long range is 5 or 5.
I think it's 4, so just under 4.
Is it okay? Well, you know what? What my point is, it's fast enough to imagine that, if my math is correct, 250% faster. Like, is it? Yeah, I think my math's right. Yeah, it's just around there. It's just, I can't imagine that speed. Like, by the way, in Canada, the Plaid version starts at 160,000.
Oh god!
If anyone's got loose change in their couches,
or GameStop stock,
I knew we couldn't get through the episode without talking about GameStop. Yeah. Well, no, if you didn't do too much today. Actually, you lost about 160,000 probably, depending on what you had in there. And of course, we have the big boy, the Plaid Plus, comes in at a whopping 140 grand. But look at that. They don't even, I think, once again, they're sandbagging, and Tesla is so famous for this sandbagging. They're talking about less than, they don't even want to say now. So they're just going to say less than 1.99 seconds. And what's impressive about this is the battery pack. Obviously, it's got to have a different battery pack in there to get a range of 520 miles plus. Does anybody want to know what that is in kilometers?
800?
837 plus kilometers. Like, wow. That's insane. Like, even if you cut that in half, that's basically what I can get, or anyone with an SR can get, an SR plus, not an SR plus, like on a full charge almost, or 80%, 90% charge. Like, that is insane.
It's got to be the 4680 battery. You
would think so, but didn't they say that they're keeping the traditional 18650s in there? For now, I don't know if that's just for the long range and the regular Plaid, but yeah, you would think they would have to have the newest pack in there to get that kind of range.
That's definitely going to be the 4680.
Especially because it has the Plus, where they don't exactly know how much range is going to be. So that's why they're sandbagging it a bit, because they don't have the battery yet, right?
Yeah, and that could be a reason why it's not available till fall, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like the whole discussion we had last week is, yeah, the whole reason is because they're not that they're battery constrained, but they can always use more. And Elon brought that up in the earnings call yesterday, saying, you know what, we're not going away from battery partners. We're actually trying to get more. We're telling our partners, build more batteries, make more batteries for us. And was it this week or last week? Panasonic or CATL said that they were or was rumored to be partnering with Tesla for the new 4680s. So they're gonna get everything they can take, and why wouldn't they, right?
Yeah, he was quite clear on the call yesterday that he really wanted to get that point across.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever heard him so
adamant. Yeah,
yeah.
No, you're right. So, I mean, I don't know what more there is to say. Let me just say that the Plaid Plus upgrades is this is of course how Tesla touts it, and you know what? Why not? Quick 0 to 60 mile per hour and quarter mile acceleration of any production car ever. 0 to 60 less than 1.99, quarter mile in under 9 seconds. Once again, I've never gone that fast, even flying somewhere on takeoff. I don't think I've ever done that. 1100 plus horsepower, 3 high performance motors, carbon sleeve rotor. Does anyone know what a carbon sleeve rotor is?
No,
neither do I. And torque vectoring, which I think that's nothing new. I think torque vectoring, correct me if I'm wrong, is usually normal. And then the same, you'd think for the Plaid Plus they would have more colors or better colors or more unique colors than the 5 boring colors.
Well,
they're nice colors. Sorry,
Franklin had a good idea for the colors.
He had a good idea?
Yeah, with the
Plaid.
Yeah.
It certainly would be an eye catcher.
Maybe a wrap.
I was actually kind of expecting more colors. That was one of the rumors I'd heard.
Yeah.
So maybe when the Plaid Plus does come, there'll be more colors. But
please, Elon, please, let's have some more colors.
And the crazy thing about all those stats we just went over is those were all around what the Roadster was supposed to be. So if this is what a 4-door luxury sedan is putting out, I can't even think what the Roadster is going to be like.
Yeah, I lost you there for a second, but I think it's every time I go to this site and they have that scrolling thing, I think that's where I lose the connection for you guys. But you guys are still there now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. If you scroll further down on the Tesla Model S landing page, you get to see the powertrain, and this was an interesting thing. You see, let me zoom in a little bit. If you're watching from home, you can see. If you're not, I apologize. If you look at the long range, they show you the rear there. That's obviously the rear, and you can see the motors. Dual motors, as we know. There's no Model S that comes in a single motor anymore. But if you go to the tri-motor one for the Plaid, I thought, and the red obviously denotes the motors and drivetrains. I thought they'd be 2 separate ones on each side of the suspension. But and there is, I guess there is, if that one suspension wasn't away, you'd probably see it a little bit better. But it's all encased into one drivetrain, which I guess is, I'm not an engineer, but I guess that's how they have to do it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but very, very interesting to see. And then there's something else. Did anyone see this when they saw this back end here? Now, this is how we're going to be able to tell the Plaid from the long range. They'll have a little badge saying Plaid. But when I was scrolling down, I first saw this and they were showing and concentrating on the back bumper there. I thought it was going to include a tow hitch. And I'm like, what? And I had to actually read it before I assumed that. And then, what do you guys think of the new wheels? The new Arachnid wheels?
I like the ones on the X. I think they're more like the Y there.
Yeah,
those are really good.
I like all the new wheels.
Yeah,
the ones on the X and these ones.
Yeah, no, I like these ones. I'm not too fond of I guess it would be maybe a 9, and probably a 20-inch. The one that shows in the design studio, if you just pick the default wheel, it looks for a car that here in Canada starts at, what did I say it was? 114?
180.
No, oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you. Yeah, it's actually not 180. It's 190,000 Canadian if you want the Plaid Plus. That's what it starts with. That's before autopilot. That's before paint. That's before. So you're looking at 200 plus the minute you throw autopilot in there. Not autopilot, FSD. Sorry, FSD.
One thing is the S and the X both come with the new heat pump.
Yes, that's true. They've finally put the heat pump in there. They realized that, so now they have the heat pump on all their cars. They figured out that it's something valuable and it works, which we knew anyways with the Y, and we knew anything that was in the 3 or in the Y that was developed and proven. We knew that it was going to trickle down to the S and the X. We knew it had to. They're the premium models, right? So to leave it out would be silly. Did they always have this? I never scroll down this far, guys. Did they always have this little map and showing you your distance to where you can travel?
No, I've never seen that.
No, that's new. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now this is Canadian, obviously, saying Quebec City to Montreal, Vancouver to Seattle, Toronto to Collingwood, Edmonton to Calgary. I've been on the American site, and the American shows American cities, and it shows in miles. But I guess it's just showing you like you can do these. I think the reason they're showing you this is they're saying that you can do these on one charge. Mm-hmm. Now it's not saying you can come back. Sorry?
I was kind of surprised that they picked these routes that are pretty low in terms of mileage. They could all be done on the current vehicles, so I thought they would have.
Unless that's return, you can probably go back with it if you're looking at 800.
You could even go return,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Edmonton to Calgary, you think you can go there and return on the long range?
On a Plaid Plus.
Not a Plaid Plus. Oh, we do. We know that for definitely. But I'm glad they didn't do this kind of mapping for the Plaid Plus, because it would almost be misleading. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm glad they didn't do that. But I'm trying to remember what's the range for the long range again? 663. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess on a nice summer day, you probably could, because we all know how winter is.
Downhill both ways.
Downhill both ways. Yes. That's so
and just going back to your comment about the tow hitch.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw, but it's actually in the source code of the design studio for the Model S that there's an optional tow hitch package.
Of course there is.
So that might be coming.
Yes. Okay. Well, maybe you guys know, I can't remember. Did the S always have an option for a tow hitch?
No, the X is at its standard, but there's been nothing factory from the S for the S. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so very interesting to know. And then if you scroll down even further, this is like I'm scrolling so far down. I feel like I'm in the ocean in fathoms. Like I'm seeing things I've never seen before. And then it gets black, and then talks about the specs. So this whole podcast has been let's explore the Model S page. That's what I should title this episode, because this is basically what we're doing. And look, you can even go down even more, and then you hit the bottom. You know how you know you hit the bottom? Where you get all this stuff at the bottom here. That's how you know. Riveting episode of Tesla podcast. I can see Franklin tomorrow morning saying, "You idiot! You just talked about it for the week." This is the news. This is Tesla news, right?
This is the news of the week, yeah.
Exactly. Do we need to? Well, we can go through some of these pictures. Do you guys want to add anything while I get rid of this and queue up another screen? Talk amongst yourselves.
No, I think we covered most of the S there.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I mean, we can go through the X, but like I said, it's towing. Not the towing. The ranges are obviously, and the times are obviously going to be different.
The one thing we kind of missed is that back to that screen with the horizontal screen where with the Witcher. Myself and a lot of other people thought that was just like Netflix or something, but if you look closely, it's the games. So definitely getting Witcher as a game.
Yes, apparently we are. And what did you say before we went on?
Cyberpunk 2077, Elon tweeted again today about it's also going to be coming soon.
But only for the Cybertruck. Just kidding. Yeah. Oh, you know what? We could talk about the Cybertruck while we can a bit. He mentioned a few things about the Cybertruck. He said, basically, not his words, mine, but he said basically pencils down. The design and the tweaking is over. Anyone else wish he would tell us, like he promised back in November? Yeah. Just show us a picture, like, and maybe there's nothing different. But at least give us an update like you promised. Or maybe there is no update. Maybe he realized, you know what? I told those guys I'd give him an update, but there's really nothing to say. Who knows? But I wish any kind of I'm so starved for Cybertruck news that anything would do. I mean, I'm watching that guy on YouTube fly his drone over every single day. Even last week it was raining and I was watching it in the rain where no workers were there. It was like you couldn't see more than like 50 feet in front of you because it was foggy and everything. And it was still like I was still watching to see what they've done. And I should actually look for the picture. There was a picture circulating today or yesterday where 3 months ago, and I think you even showed it, right, Darren? Or you did an article about it? Where it is today?
Texas.
Yeah, at the Gigafactory, Texas Giga. Yeah, and they've come so far in 3 months. And somebody in Facebook group I run, I posted the article saying, I forget what the article was, but anyways, I posted something saying that it's coming probably not till next. Elon said that it was going to happen, and somebody said, you know what? They'd be surprised if anything comes out this year. And I'm like, yeah, maybe, because those his words. We'd be lucky if we get a few out before the end of the year. Does anyone else think he's sandbagging once again, or is it just wishful thinking on my part?
Well, did he mention on the conference call that it was going to be 2021 deliveries? Well,
no, he mentioned, no, I think on the website it says 21 deliveries, late 2021, if I'm not mistaken. But he said everything's coming along, like what I got off on a tangent talking about that picture and the drone shots. But yeah, he said pencils down, they finished all the tweaking and stuff like that. Now they're working on the production side of it, and they're in the process of ordering, or they've ordered, and they're waiting for it to be manufactured. An
8,000 ton.
8,000 ton press, right? Is that what it? Yeah. We thought, and of course everyone compared it to press for their casting, and that was 6,000 tons. Yeah, 6,000. It's just mind-boggling. 6,000 tons. It's like saying ton. So yeah, so this one is going to be, 33% more powerful or bigger, and they talked about it. And did he not say in one of the tweets last week or the week before where he said the Cybertruck's going to float?
He did mention that.
He was responding to somebody, and he said it's going to float. So this whole, we all know that the Cybertruck's going to be exactly like the Y, where it's going to be a single structure, like we talked about last week with the pack and everything. So if the bottom part's going to be a solid structure, then yeah, I can see why it's going to float. It's going to be one single casting. So they're probably
for a little bit, he says. It'll only float for a little bit.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. No,
we'll test it out.
Yeah, because it's going to be probably 6 or 7 ton vehicle. So yeah, I wouldn't expect that to float too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it obviously, all these kind of things where he says it's one of those dentless body panels or indestructible. And then on announcement day that Franz took us. Of course, we all know the ball and the windshield, the glass. Like, for the obvious reasons, when I say I wish they didn't do it, at least a demonstration. I wish they didn't talk about it because I don't know. I know you guys have mentioned it. We've talked about it, but I forget. Are you guys getting a Cybertruck? You have one on order?
I might, but pending the FSD news today or yesterday, I might not. But we'll see how it plays out.
Darren?
I do have one on order. Yeah.
Okay. Correct me if tell me if you agree with me. When I get this, I mean, for one, it's going to look weird, and I don't know if I'll get it early or late. Obviously, if you get it early, it'll look weirder and it'll have a flock of interest. If you get it later, obviously not as much, but that'll take a while to die down anyways. But my point is, I don't want people, especially teenagers and young stupid kids, going up to it, trying to kick it, trying to scratch it, because, you know, they didn't say anything about scratch. They're trying to scratch it anyways, you know, and stainless steel will still scratch. You can buff it out easily, apparently, but it still will scratch. So even though it doesn't have paint. So I don't want anyone touching my car. I'm just that type of person. My car that I have now, my wife's car, even though it's got tons of scratches from my son on it already, because it has no paint protection film on it. But even with this, I don't want anyone hitting the glass with anything, trying to see if it will shatter, and then running off if it does, even if they're caught on. You know, I mean, century videos we're gonna get online of people doing that when it's first released.
Yeah,
Think of it.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be crazy, and for that reason alone is why I wish they would be like hush hush about it. And like, okay, it does it. Let's not do a demo on freaking stage. But you know, it's okay. That's the Cybertruck. Yeah, they talked about that, and then he said, like I said, like I reiterated, they're hoping to maybe get a few out before the end of the year. And I think his words were, if we're lucky. And I think he's sandbagging, because I look at what they've done in 3 months, and I can't imagine in another 6 months, which is just 6 months away. It's the beginning of August, which is still I guess the middle of. I still think they could get stuff going. Now I know a lot of people say that's they're getting ready because the Y is going to be manufactured there first. I get it, but you mean to tell me that they're doing everything for the Y and they're totally ignoring the Cybertruck part of the plant? No, they're obviously doing it, but they're obviously going to do both as quickly as they can. So I don't know. I still think he's sandbagging, because I think Tesla's figured out their secret sauce is to under-promise and over-deliver. And it's worked for them up to now in the most recent times, and I don't see that that's going to stop. I think they're going to continue to do that. I think they've had some success with that, with the Y, with the Model S. Mind you, rumored since 2019, so maybe not. Maybe the Model S isn't a good example, but the Plaid is a good example, because they're saying late this year for the Plaid Plus, but watch, mark my words, by summer they'll start the Plaid Plus. What do you guys think?
In terms of the Cybertruck, I hope you're right. I hope that he's sandbagging that if we're lucky part, but I'm not holding my breath. I think we're going to see deliveries early 2022 for the Cybertruck, and then that means for Canada probably mid to late 2022.
Yeah, oh yeah, because we'll always be later, right? I mean, we do have, sorry, making a lot of noise, dropping a lot of stuff. We do have the better geographical location with the truck now, being in Texas, a little bit closer, is it not, than or a little more central at least, than on the West Coast. That should shave off a couple days.
Yeah, it might.
So I don't know. I'm just keeping my hopes up, I guess. and I'll probably be disappointed. But I'd like to see something come up the end of the year. Now, not me, but somebody get it by the end of the year. You know what? I'd like to see some deliveries, even if it's a handful and it goes out to staff members first or board members first, which is what they tend to do with new things. So they can, and you know, and of course they're going to do people in California first, or no, I guess they won't. They'll do, because it's going to be closer. They were always doing California first for the 3 in a Y, because if there was any issues, they can bring it back quickly and fix it. But this is going to be Texas now, so yeah.
I think it'll just go out to employees first, like they did with the Y in Shanghai. Yeah. So I know I've had the screen up the whole time we're talking about the Cybertruck, but yeah. So what else goodies did we learn in the? Oh, we learned that they have no intentions of an FSD transfer. Yeah. That came out early. That was I think that was question number 2. Yeah. And that, I don't know, I was a little disappointed. But you know what? Realistically, do it. I think I said in one of the most recent podcasts too that I would love to see it. I think they deserve to do that, or has had it for a while. They deserve that as a loyalty perk of some sort. But with that said, I didn't think they were going to do it, only because, and Elon even mentioned it on the call, is because of the subscription model that's coming out. I think they think that will answer the people's desires and questions. Well, my concern would be, what if your car gets in an accident and you don't have anything to trade in?
Oh, buddy, it's happened already, right? Down in the States and up here. You're SOL. Yeah. Like, I know right now that if my car was written off tomorrow, heaven forbid, what they will give you, with a lot of insurance companies now have replacement value, whether it's 2, 3, or I think some companies even have 5 years. I have a family member that works in insurance, so that's how I know this stuff. I know that they will give you the price, the sticker price, not even a sticker price, the invoice price of the car you purchased. So unless you got it with originally, like with the car, like, so for example, if you paid $80,000 here in Canada for the car, that's what they will cut you a check for, and that's what you will go out. If anything is different in terms to get FSD or any other add-ons, that's out of your own pocket. So for someone like me that got FSD at a bargain basement price, and I'm so glad I did, yeah, I'd be SOL, because, or for even people that purchased it the 10 grand and they purchased it afterwards and it's not on that invoice, the insurance isn't going to pay you out for that. Oh. Yeah. People have contacted their insurance companies, and you can adjust your policy and then they up it. I don't think it works the same way here in Ontario, because insurance is different in every province, and maybe it isn't down in the States. I'm ignorant to what it is in the States. I apologize. But here in Canada, it's province Ontario. I don't believe they do that, where you can put like a binder or any kind of add-on to your insurance, to your auto policy at least.
Yeah, you can't do that here in BC either. I tried.
Yeah, and in BC it's public insurance, right?
The basic insurance is through ICBC, the provincial insurance. Yeah. But you can go to third party for
additional
insurance. Yeah,
like additional coverage.
Yeah.
And in Quebec is just a different animal itself. Like, they don't adhere or belong to any of the rules that the other provinces belong to. So I wouldn't even guess what Quebec is. But they have a very good incentive program and rebate program. So that's not so. Yeah. So they talked about FSD, and he disappointed us all about that. But he did reiterate when he touched on the subscription model. Did he not?
Sorry, you cut out there.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Can connection problems again. I apologize. He did say when he talked about the FSD subscription model, he did say that it's coming out next month, or more information will be given next month.
Yeah, he said a month or two to come out.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else that I'm missing that he talked about on the call?
Just touching back with the FSD, he did say that trade-ins would you take full value. So I'm not sure if he meant full value at the time you purchase it or what it is now. But he said you'll get that credit in terms of if you trade in Tesla.
Yeah. Did he say full value, or did he say a valued amount?
He didn't say it would be valued in the trade-in. So like I got it when it was 8,000. Am I going to get 8,000 for it, or if it's worth 10,000 now, am I going to get 10,000 for it? Right?
Yeah, true. Because they know there's no doubting that. They know I paid 2,700. They know you paid 8,000. They know someone else bought it yesterday, paid 10,600, right? So they know. Yeah, they get a value for it. But I know my buddy Paul, Tesla Connect, he traded his in recently, and he can tell you when he traded in his 3, he did not. I forget how much. I think he bought his originally. Like he didn't even get the discount price. He bought it originally from back in 2018, and I forget how much it was then. And because it was an enhanced autopilot. So, but he said either way, he didn't get what he thought he should have got for FSD. And I've heard some stories down in the States where people aren't getting anything for it.
Yeah, they don't include anything. I think when they're trying to make their 1 million deliveries last month, they sent me an email because they wanted my 3, and they sent me a quote, and the quote did not include FSD.
Yeah. Was it insulting?
When you don't include FSD, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty low. I think it was 36,000.
Yeah. They really? What year is your car?
2020.
Okay, yours is newer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sales guy from Oakville emailed me today, and he says, I know we talked in August of last year. He goes, are you still interested? He goes, because if you are interested in trading in, there we do have some on the lot now that you could get within the next few days. Else, he said next month or the month after. And I said, listen, I'm not interested, but when I was interested, you guys gave me, not them themselves, but Tesla gave me an insulting trade-in value. And I said, unless they can do better than that, unless you can do better than that, I'm not interested, which I'm not interested in. Right? I like my 3. And then he got back to me and he said, well, you'd have to go through the online part of it and go through the trade-in link. And he sent me a link, but I'm like, no, Tesla head office should give the dealers or the salespeople, and I know they won't, but I'm thinking they should give them the leeway to find out the pricing for the customer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the trading values, because I was chatting with someone just this week. He has a 2019 SR Plus, and his trade-in, I don't think he had FSD. His trade-in came in at 28,600.
Sorry, what did he have? A 2019?
2019 SR3, 30,000 kilometers. So not an extreme amount of kilometers, and it was 28,600.
Yeah. See, it's that kind of stuff. And that was recent, within 20. This
that was this week. That was this week.
Oh wow. See, I remember them saying. I spoke to another Tesla rep, and he admitted, or he came out and told me that the last time I had a quote, which was around Christmas time when they were doing the big giant push. We all know how strong they were pushing then. That's where the insulting offer came in. To be quite honest, I did get another offer back probably in the fall, which was a fairly good offer. And if I was going to do something, I probably should have taken advantage of that offer, because that compared to what I got 2 months later was hugely different. But he did say that they were in offers, or head office was locking in trade-in offers at a certain amount, and they weren't going over that. Now that that's been unlocked because they're doing the push, now a quite favorable, different offer than you were getting back in December. So who knows? Like I said, I'm not interested, so I didn't bother pursuing that any further. But what else? I mean, is there anything? I've got a slide here of some Model S shots and tweets and stuff like that from different people. Is there anything worth talking about? Oh, well, one part of it.
Just touching back on the FSD, I wouldn't be a good Franklin replacement if I didn't mention this, but he did mention the FSD beta. There's about 1,000 people now in the States that have it.
Yeah, he did say that. And you know what? I wish he'd asked something. He touched on Canada or Norway.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunately, he didn't. 1,000 people. I'm quite impressed. I didn't think it was that big. Did that come to a shock to anyone else here?
I knew there was a lot of people that are obviously making the videos that we've seen, but there's a lot of people with the non-disclosure agreements that aren't talking about it. So I don't think it's that much of a shock.
Yeah, and video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Darren? I know you're the in guy as much as Dan is in terms of things that I might have forgotten or missed from yesterday.
No, nothing's jumping out.
No. Okay.
Tesla van.
Oh yeah, he talked about the van. But he talked about it, but he didn't sound like. And I think he came out and said at one point that it wasn't really pressing for him or for them. Like they'll do one. Didn't he say, yeah, we'll do one eventually? Yeah.
And was it going to be a passenger van? It was going to be a commercial van.
Yeah. Well, no, I agree. I think they should do a commercial van. I think they'd have that's with the commercial side of it than the passenger side of it. Did you think they were going to make a safari van? Like, I think the way they look at it is that's what the X is for.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a big market, right? Like that's why I think is it Rivian that's doing it right now with Amazon or UPS or I think Amazon. They're smart, right? It's a big market, and if they can capitalize on that, why not? I'm just going through the chat here to see. I apologize, folks, if you had any questions. Concentrating on getting out the news there with the S and stuff like that, and then we had those connection problems. So I've neglected the chat. I apologize. I'll try to do better next week. Now that Franklin's no longer with us, he's passed away. Sorry, I shouldn't joke. He's a good buddy of mine. I should make those morbid jokes. I apologize. He's sleeping. That's what he's doing. He's sleeping. Okay. So yeah, I apologize. I appreciate everyone chiming in on the chat. I didn't really pay much attention to it, so I apologize for that. But thanks very much, guys, for joining us. Darren, where can people find you?
DriveTeslaCanada.ca.
There you go. For all the best, like I said last week and the week before, don't let the Canada part fool you. I mean, obviously he concentrates on Canada and stuff like that, but that website is a wealth of knowledge and information for any kind of Tesla. Whether you don't have to live in Canada to go to that site, and it's not just you're going to get Canadian information, you're going to get worldwide, international news and information on that website. Awesome website. I thought when you first started off, it was going to be, oh, good, we have a Canadian perspective and it's going to be Canadian centered. Which it is, but it's gone beyond that, and it's bigger than that. It's you cover all the Tesla news worldwide, which is good. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
And if Blue Planet is still watching, you can go to my website and we talk about the Model Y, SR Model Y, and Y, and in regards to the federal rebate.
Oh, and I see here about the 7-seater.
Yeah, and the 5-seater as well.
Yeah, yep. You know what? I saw your last article, but just before we go, and I'll get to you in a second, Dan, I apologize. I saw your article. I agree with you. I think the reason they're holding off, because now they're holding off in Ontario, I think in the next little while, the next few days, we're going to hear something that they're going to make it happen here.
I don't see any other reason why they would be delaying deliveries all across.
Exactly. Exactly. You were very keen on picking up on that. Cool. Dan, thank you very much for coming on the show. I see you're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Big Wings fan there in the background there.
Yeah, I am. It's a sad day today.
Oh, did they lose?
I think so. I'm just getting a lot of notifications on my phone. I don't want to check them.
Okay. Oh, you're not just a wings. You like everything Detroit. I see a tiger logo behind you too.
No, that's the Red Wings up there. That's the Winter
Is it?
Classic. Yeah.
Oh, the classic.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. There's the Winter Classic. Yeah.
Yes, the Winter Classic. Okay. My ignorant apologies. But where can people find you?
I am on Northern Tesla on YouTube and Northern Tesla or Northern_Tesla on Twitter as well.
Yes, Dan puts out some very, very informative videos on YouTube. Go check him out. Another underrated YouTube channel amongst all the Tesla YouTube channels, which some of them are overrated in my opinion, but I love them all. But this one is underrated. Go if you haven't checked out Dan's channel, go check it out. Northern Tesla on YouTube, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And of course, Franklin was here. He would plug my channel. But if you're watching and you're listening now or after the fact, there's no need to. This is why I don't do it. This is why I tell Franklin there's no need to. But check me out on Twitter. Yeah, Twitter. Tesla Talks. I almost forgot Twitter. I wasn't on it much today. I was too busy and too interested with the Wall Street bets stuff going on. And of course, Facebook and all the groups, the Canadian Model Y group, the Canadian Model 3 group, and the I even have a Cybertruck group too. So I know there's lots of Cybertruck groups are there on Facebook, but I have a small one that's up and coming, and I think it'll start to pick up as more news comes, like anything else of the Cybertruck. Just like how the Y was small in its infancy, and when the Y got announced and got revealed, and sorry, not revealed, then the channel picked up as more people got them in their hands. So check out those groups if you can, and we will catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it very much. We'll be here next week. Probably the 3 guys again if they're available. If not, Franklin resurrects himself. Maybe him. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. See ya.